Keanu Reeves is without a doubt just a cult figure for modern cinema, because his name is associated with such mega-popular franchises like The Matrix, John Wick, films like Constantine, Speed, and a huge number of other films. Now, the actor, who has already turned over 50, is at the zenith of fame, and the studios are lining up to get him in their films. Royalties are inflated by more and more zeros, and it would seem life is good. But in fact, behind the bright rapper hides a very tragic life story. A man who has everything, but a man who at the same time has suffered so much that no one would wish. Nevertheless, Keanu never hardened and did not turn into a rigid cynic, managing to pass all the tests presented by fate with dignity. Today we go a little deeper than just fame, popularity, and a rich life, and get to know the real, true story of one of the brightest Hollywood stars, and whether it has a happy ending. Here we go. By the way, which Keanu Reeves movie is your favorite? For example, I'm all for Constantine. How about you? Leave your choices in the comments. So, Keanu Reeves was far from a golden child. He wasn't born into a rich family or even a rich country. It happened back in 1964 in Beirut, and the first drama in the life of very young Keanu happened in those very early years. In fact, when the boy was only a few years. Here, by the way, the information differs. According to some sources, around 3, and according to the father of the actor, 5. In general, Keanu Reeves's father left the family, leaving his wife and young children. By the way, this parent's action so shocked Keanu that the Hollywood star does not communicate with his father to this day, although once they did have a chance to improve their relationship. "I spent my last vacation with my father when I was 13, Keanu Reeves said in a 2002 interview. "On our last day, we sat on the veranda and looked up into the dark sky. He barely said anything that night. The next day, he brought us to the airport, and before that, we hadn't heard from him in 10 years. It was the first, but unfortunately not the last blow to the actor. After all, he and his mother and sisters moved around a lot, first in Australia and then in Toronto, where the boy had to change half a dozen schools. By the way, it is noteworthy that, like the other Hollywood star Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves also suffered from dysplasia, a disorder in the ability to master reading and writing skills. But despite everything, Keanu Reeves confidently went to his goal, and in the mid-'80s he began acting in films, and by the early 90s then, a young actor rather confidently entered his name in the list of First Division. That's when the next blow in the life of Keanu Reeves happened. October 31st, 1993, from an overdose near a nightclub in Los Angeles, died River Phoenix, the actor with whom Reeves met on the set and became very close. At that time, the guy was only 23 years old, and as recalled later, Keanu Reeves himself, who perceived Rivera as a younger brother, he took it very hard. Further throughout the 90s, Keanu Reeves more and more steadily took his place among the stars of first magnitude, and by the end of the decade, when the first Matrix was released in 1999, no one else had no doubt that this actor has finally acquired world fame. But alas, somehow by an evil irony of fate, achieving something professionally has always been accompanied by personal tragedy in the life of Keanu Reeves, because in the late 90s, actor began dating actress Jennifer Syme, and in early 2000, the couple was expecting to give birth to their first child. It had to be a girl, but then, Keanu Reeves and his beloved waiting for a new blow. The child died in the womb almost a week before delivery. After that, the relationship between the pair began to deteriorate rapidly and they eventually broke up. But Keanu and Jennifer still remained good friends, and even then, bad luck, coincidence, ghost, call it what you want, could not leave Reeves alone, as after a little over a year in the spring of 2001 in a car crash killed Jennifer herself. Keanu buried his girlfriend at Westwood Cemetery in Los Angeles next to the grave of their stillborn daughter. And as he himself later recalled, it was an extremely difficult period in his life. How ambiguous was the actor's life? Yes, it seems that professionally by the beginning of 2000 years, he had everything just cannot be better. A lot of films, new parts of The Matrix, which Keanu not only very cool to earn, but also to raise his name even higher in the world. And yet as for life, the ordinary human life of a Hollywood star, tragedies followed him one after another. We must pay tribute that with such a heavy schedule and filming-piled problems and sorrows, Keanu still has not abandoned the world, not gone into alcohol or drugs as many others, and managed to survive it all, to stay in line and, most importantly, maintain human qualities. And that's not mentioning the fact that the actor's older sister, Kim Reeves, was diagnosed with blood cancer in the early 90s. After that, for over 10 years, Kim has been actively fighting leukemia. And her younger brother has always found time and opportunities to support his sister in this very difficult case. And in the early 2000s, there were reports that fortunately Kim Reeves was able to beat the disease, but in 2015 it turned out that she had relapsed, and now Keanu's sister is treated again. I do not need to say how much pressure this situation has put and continues to put on the actor. Especially since, as we understood, he is not one of the cast of people who think only about themselves and by gaining fame or money detach themselves from everyone else. Moreover, there were numerous reports in the press that the actor gave 70% of his huge royalties from the Matrix trilogy to the fight against cancer. It's true or not, we can't say exactly, but it's a fact that Keanu Reeves donated a lot of money to charity, and later he created his own foundation, and without cutting red ribbons and tons of press, but almost anonymously. Here's a quote from the actor. "I have a private foundation that's been running for 5 or 6 years, and it helps several children's hospitals and cancer research. I don't like to attach my name to it. I just let the foundation do what it does. So it's just a case of a person just doing something good without asking for anything in return and without wanting everyone's publicity or approval. And now compare this to our politicians, for example. As they say, 2 worlds, 2 childhoods. But now we're talking about Keanu. Why else does the world just love this actor? Here everything is quite obvious. After all, a man who earns tens of millions of dollars is still first and foremost a human being. He doesn't buy real estate like a madman. He doesn't bathe in luxury and doesn't spend millions on incredible parties. Yes, Keanu Reeves has a $4 million house in the Hollywood Hills, but it certainly can't be called huge or super luxurious. Instead, Keanu Reeves is paying his own money to feed and sometimes even treat entire crews of his movies. Reports about this have repeatedly appeared on Reddit. The actor easily rides the subway, videos of which surfaced in 2011. And in one of the clubs in Los Angeles, Keanu Reeves waited in the pouring rain in line with everyone else because he just did not want to trump his name. I didn't know who he was. He kept waiting and he didn't say anything to me, the club owner later recalled in an interview with the Daily Mail. Also, photos of how, in 1997, the actor walking down the street just sat down next to a homeless man to share his food and talk with him have never hit the net. In addition, Keanu Reeves from his personal royalties to fund some risky movies, which starred so that all the people involved in the production remained with their work, and the movie itself could get out. According to some reports, the total number of such infusions almost exceeded $100 million. To confirm such claims now, we certainly cannot, but I think, at least in part, they correspond to reality. And all this against the backdrop that the actor continues to star in several films annually, and his schedule is scheduled almost by the hour. Needless to say that together, all these facts led to the fact that Keanu Reeves, in his 55 years, experiencing such a creative rise and has the love of people from around the world that none of the newfound stars of this and never dreamed. And as the actor himself says, one of his most popular images of this decade, John Wick is somewhere copied from him. After all, this is just the story of a man with a very complicated past, who is struggling with fate as best he can. Well, of course, the story of a character like Keanu Reeves just has to have a happy ending, no matter what. And apparently, it really should happen, because Keanu the Lone Wolf is his own words, who has never been married and has no children. Apparently, he finally found his beloved. The famous Hollywood actor proposed to his beloved, 46-year-old artist Alexandra Grant. The pair were just friends for a long time, and now apparently the relationship has been transformed. So apparently the world in the future awaits one of the most high-profile weddings. Not in the sense of pompous or expensive, knowing Keanu Reeves. He is unlikely to do something like that. Just about the most important, or at least the most hardened bachelor in Hollywood, finally has a chance to find a second half and a family home. Well, Keanu Reeves deserved this as no one else, because no matter what strokes of fate, he passed all the tests, passed the test of fame and huge money, and yet he remained by himself. A man who, without exaggeration, is respected and loved by the whole world. Well, who agrees with this statement? Put a like under this video and we'll call it a day. Write your comments, share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you all for watching and bye.